What's up, y'all? It's Stuart Tourette, and today I'm going to be reading chapter 16 and 17 of Revelation. It talks about the seven bowls of God's wrath and the great prostitute and the beast. It starts off on 16 with John talking more about a vision that he has. He says, "Then I heard a loud voice from the temple," so the third temple that was created, telling the seven angels, a temple speaking from, a voice speaking from the temple, telling seven angels, "Go and pour out on the earth the seven bowls of the wrath of God." And this reminds me of how God spoke to, I think he spoke to Moses through the tabernacle, right? And so, holy places like like um like God basically spoke to Moses through the tabernacle. I think it was a tent or something. He speaks through holy things, and then thousands and thousands of years later, it shows that he does it once more, saying, and instead of talking to people, he talks to the angels. He says, "Go and pour out on the earth the seven bowls of the wrath of God." And so the first angel went and poured out his bowl on the earth, meaning it could mean anything, really. Just a metaphor of showing that then this came. And it says, and HARM full and PAIN full sores came upon the people who bore the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. And worshipped its image, that goes back to, it's not just like saying like, oh, and worship the beast. It's literally saying who bore the mark and worshipped the image. That is a statue. That is possibly an AI saying, and then it goes back even further to the first beast and the second beast. It says the image was created of the first beast. The image was given life, and then it told people to bear the mark. So this image, this whatever this statue is, probably an AI, because they didn't have John didn't know the words robot back then. I mean, he saw, he said what he was seeing, and that's all he could come up with, I guess. And so, the people that bore the mark, being the whatever it could be a chip in your in your wrist or your forehead. It could be a tiny little microbot or something. It could literally just be a barcode. I have no idea what it could possibly be, but just be aware of the things around you, and if something could be it. Because if you accidentally take one of these things that turns out to be the mark of the beast, that would not be good. And the second angel poured out his bowl into the sea, and became like the blood of a corpse. Every living thing passed away that was in the sea. The third angel poured out his bowl into the rivers and the springs of water, and they became blood. You got the sea and the springs of water. I don't know how that would even work. You have the sea that is separate from all the good water. So it must have, the fresh water also must have been tampered with. So I'm wondering if It is man-made. Because the sea's out here. The rivers flow into the sea. What am I trying to say? I wonder if the blood of the sea and the blood of the springs is man-made, because it could literally just be God getting someone to tamper with the water. It could be him doing it himself. It could, or it could be literal blood. We just don't know. And that's cool how he speaks in metaphors like that. And it says, "And I heard the angel in charge of the waters saying, Just are you, O Holy One, who is and who was, for you brought these judgments, for they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, also being the 2 witnesses that were shed. And you have given them blood to drink. It's what they deserve. And I heard the altar saying, Yes, Lord God, the Almighty, true and just are your judgments. The 4th angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and it was allowed to scorch people." Think about this. I've talked about this a lot with some of my friends. This sounds like global warming. I mean, to be real, whether it's real or not, debates back and forth, we all know that the earth is getting hotter. The winters are colder, the summers are hotter, and it's just going to keep speeding up until the winters are so much colder, the summers are so much hotter, and, maybe God's working with the tectonic plates. I don't know. But one thing that I have realized is all scientists can agree that the earth has been hotter. Has just been getting hotter. And so it wouldn't surprise me if it got to a point where during the tribulation, where the sun scorched people with fire. They were scorched by the fierce heat, and they cursed the name of God who had power over these plagues. They did not repent and give him glory. The 5th angel poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast. I don't know what that means, but it could be interpreted as a few different things. I mean, poured out his bowl on the where is it? Poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast. This could be the city of where this person, this beast, this AI lives. The throne of the beast and its kingdom was plunged into darkness. People gnawed their tongues in anguish and cursed the God of heaven for their pain and sores. So they had sores. They were not feeling good. God was like, boom, darkness. Because everybody was worshiping this image, this AI or whatever it is, and they still wouldn't repent. They wouldn't say, hey God, I've messed up. That's all they didn't do that. The 6th angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up. This is a big one. A very big one. The Euphrates River has this tower, right? I think it was back in the early 2000s. This tower went straight to the bottom of the river of Euphrates, and it came up just the little top of it, right? Well, now 2026, you can see almost the entire tower going so far up, and I'm talking really, really high tower. like, and you can see almost the whole thing. So showing how deep the river must have been, and how fast it had dried in the span of only 10 years or 15 years. Yeah, and of course, rivers have dry cycles. They it's good to look at the obvious and not be deceived by some things, but at the same time, all of this stuff that sounds like it's happening, all this technology, all this crazy stuff that is happening in the world nowadays, it only makes sense that now the Euphrates River is getting to its lowest. It's starting to rain. It's alright. Maybe. Maybe I just finished up 16. Prepare the way for the kings. Wait. And its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Kings from the east. Somewhere in the Middle East. Could be Russia. Could be a whole new kingdom that we don't even know about right now. And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits like frogs, for they are demonic spirits performing signs, who go abroad to the kings of the whole earth to assemble them for battle, and the great day of God the Almighty. Behold, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake, keeping his garments on, that he may not go about naked and be exposed. And they assembled them at the place that in Hebrew is called Armageddon, the last battle. It's starting to rain, y'all. I will be back. Be right back. Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm back. It's done raining. I'm going to be reading the last part of 16 and some of 17. Before I was talking about Armageddon. That is the final battle of the world. And after that, the beginning of the next paragraph is called the 7th bowl. The other ones are the other bowls. The sun was scorching people with fire. The beast's kingdom was plunged into darkness. The Euphrates River dried up. And it says the 7th bowl. The 7th angel poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there was flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and a great earthquake, such as there had never been. I think it's raining again. Since there had never been since man was on the earth. So great was that earthquake. The biggest earthquake anybody has experienced on the earth ever, and happened everywhere. Everywhere on the earth. It says the great city was split into 3 parts. Jerusalem split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and God remembered Babylon the Great. So Babylon's over here. God brings them back into the picture. Basically saying, God remembered Babylon the Great to make her drain the cup of the wine of the fury of his wrath, and every island fled away. No mountains were to be found, and great hailstones, about 100 pounds each, fell from heaven on people. Wow. As insane. But it's going to be true. The 7th bowl is great hailstones. So there's an earthquake, weather is bad, and great hailstones. 100 pounds each. What if that isn't weather, though? I mean, that could be something else. We really don't know, because it doesn't say that it was raining and the weather was bad, or it says there was lightning, peals of thunder, rumblings, great earthquake. Maybe it was real hailstones, or maybe it wasn't. I'm not completely sure. It says, and great hailstones, about 100 pounds each, fell from heaven on people, and they cursed God for the plague of the hail, because the plague was so severe. This is the beginning of chapter 17. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute who is seated on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed sexual immorality, and with the wine of whose sexual immorality the dwellers on earth have become drunk." This prostitute, I'll get to it because it says it right here. It says, "And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness. And I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names. And it had 7 heads and 10 horns." Very similar to the woman and the dragon metaphor that was talked about. Where at? Woman and the dragon metaphor that was talked about in chapter 12, saying, another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, scarlet, with 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head 7 diadems. And it's basically the dragon, being Satan, popping back up in another metaphor, the great prostitute and the beast. The woman, or said it had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. And on her forehead was written a name of mystery: Babylon the Great, mother of prostitutes and the earth's abomination. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of saints, the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. So this evil nation, it says it's a mystery. It doesn't say, well, it says on her forehead was a name written of mystery. I think that's interesting that John put that there, to show maybe it's not the Babylon being Iraq. Maybe it is a new country that is so full of sin, and that it's about to be wiped away. It could be America, it could be anything, but this is all taking place at the end of the tribulation. Name of mystery: Babylon the Great, mother of prostitutes and the earth's abominations. Being their sin was the worst out of any. This nation's sin was the worst. The worst. Yeah. Sorry. When I saw her, I marveled greatly. But the angel said to me, "Why do you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her. The beast that you saw was and is not," being Satan. See, God can forgive us because we are human beings that are in time. God cannot forgive Satan because he is timeless. He made him 4th dimensional. The beast that you saw was and is not, being, he's timeless, I think. and is about to rise from the bottomless pit and go to destruction. And the dwellers on earth whose name has not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world will marvel to see the beast, because it was and is not and is to come. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. My dog's going crazy. They are also 7 kings. 5. I don't understand this. I really don't. But some people might have to look into it. The 7 heads. So this woman. Let me see. This woman. Oh no. The beast. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. They are also 7 kings, 5 of whom had fallen. I don't know what that means, but y'all should look into it. It'll make sense to a few people, I bet. Eventually. It says 7 heads are 7 mountains, but those 7 mountains are also 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. 5 of these kings have fallen. They are gone. 1 is, and 1 is to come. Sorry. See where I was at. My derealization is getting a little bit bad. On which the woman is seated. There are also 7 kings, 5 of whom had fallen. 1 is, the other has not yet come. And when he does come, he must remain only a little while. As for the beast that was and is not, it is an 8th, but it belongs to the 7. So what I'm getting, and it goes to destruction. What I'm getting at, the 10, or sorry, what am I saying? The beast is the 8th king, and so let's say Satan is the 8th puppet of the world. The 7th says is to come, and the 8th is puppeting the 7th. I'm guessing that goes back to Satan puppeting and controlling the 7th being one of the beasts. I'm guessing that's the first beast. So I'm guessing the 7th mountain, the 7th king is the first beast, and the 8th mountain, which says is out of the picture. It is a different thing, being the beast, that is Satan. And the 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received royal power, but they are to receive authority as kings for 1 hour. 1 hour. Together with the beast. These are of one mind, and they hand over their power and authority to the beast. They will make war on the Lamb, and the Lamb will conquer them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those with him are called and chosen and faithful. And the angel said to me, the waters that you saw where the prostitute is seated are peoples and multitudes and nations and languages, and the 10 horns that you saw, they and the beast will hate the prostitute. The 10 horns being, if you go back up, it says, the 10 horns are kings that will receive authority with the beast for 1 hour. These 10 people, they and the beast will hate the prostitute. So, I don't fully understand. So you have the beast, the prostitute, and the 10 people. making everybody take the mark of the beast, and then you have the prostitute, which is a nation hated by everyone, including the evil. Let's see. They will make her desolate and naked, and devour her flesh, and burn her up with fire. The prostitute, for being a nation. For God has put it into their hearts to carry out his purpose by being of one mind and handing over their royal power to the beast until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman that you saw in the great city that has dominion, and the woman that you saw is the great city that has dominion over the kings of the earth. Ooh. Could be multiple different countries. Could be any city. Could be Washington, D.C. The mountains are Mount Rushmore. No, I don't know. But there's so many ways to try and figure this out. But I pray that we will understand it eventually, and that these signs will give us more and more knowledge. Not just me, but anybody who's watching this video as well. I just hope that, you know, all of our eyes will be open. We won't be deceived. That if we see something, we don't immediately believe it. But the next part is chapter 18, the fall of Babylon, which is Mystery Babylon. So it could be Iraq, or it could be the actual Mystery Babylon, being the great city that has dominion over the kings of the earth. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This one was a long one, I will say that. But I really did enjoy making it, and I will be happy to make a video on chapter 18 and 19 another day. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Most importantly, I hope y'all can feel the presence of God right now. But yeah, I'll see y'all another day. Okay, God bless.